You'll see here, it'll bring back the bringer anyway. And then we're going to have this enter as a copy of Terror of the Peaks. And now they're going to get absolutely suplexed. Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the 4-color version of the Caravel Mindbidden, or the Superior Spider-Man as it is in paper. If you haven't necessarily seen this deck, or you're new because of Spider-Man, welcome, obviously. But you may have this card enter as a copy of a creature in the graveyard, except it has this card's name. And he's a 4/4 spider human in addition to its other types. If you do exile that card, which that bottom part doesn't necessarily happen because of Bringer of the Last Gift. There are 4 copies of this card, and this is the primary combo that we're trying to accomplish here. Whenever this creature enters, if you cast it, so we'll pause there. We do cast this card, and then it enters the battlefield as the copy, so it counts towards the bringer. And each player sacrifices all creatures they control. Then each player returns all creature cards from the graveyard that weren't put there this way to the battlefield. So it's a living in type effect, but they don't necessarily go to exile. And the idea is to have Terror of the Peaks finish the job. Spells your opponents cast that target this creature cost an additional 3 life to cast. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, which typically means our opponent's face. We have green for Dredgers and the Brood Spinner. This is from Dustborn, so it actually is the card it says, unlike some other cards that came from a spider set. Then we have Fear for red and Torch for red for removal, Bitter Triumph to discard everything else. And then we have a backup plan of Arden in here. There's just 2 of these, but it gives our demons haste as well, which is also relevant because Bringer happens to be a demon. And whenever this enters, it copies this and brings it back out of the graveyard. So this doesn't actually end up exiling that card. Therefore, we end up with the 6/6 anyway, and this a 4/4. So having it have haste also helps if we don't necessarily have enough damage off of a terror for some reason. That's another extra 10 in the top with lifelink that helps us get us out of a lot of spots. Other than that, we're going to dive into the game, see how it goes. Yeah, seems pretty good. Removal, if not, we play Fear. If not, we can also play Dredgers. So all seems good here, at least I think. And playing a Surveilland right away, obviously, is pretty good. You can always shock in the Watery Grave. Overlord's also a good option. So I think with Overlord, green white, let's just play the aggressive plan. With Overlord, I'm gonna go Dredge's Insight. There's our card that we need. Could have grabbed the land, but hopefully we just find another one. Honestly, I should have grabbed the land there, and then with Overlord, grab that back, right? But are we in the mirror potentially? I've seen Origins be played in the mirror. No. Okay, we're against Kona, I believe. Find the land anyway. Go Overlord here. We'll decline bringing anything back. Go here. Then we just pretty much bring out everything we want. Now, obviously, they can play Kona and do everything they want here. That would be pretty bad. This actually coming back is good news for us, which is weird. They put 1 card back, kept 1 on top, and there's the Kona. Sure. Against this match, what should... I guess I just keep Bitter Triumph up, right? Just play a Fear missing out, keep Bitter Triumph up. And then get rid of like a Terror of the Peaks, and then just body everything, I guess. Let's do it a little bit sneakily. Let's do it this way, so they have to kind of think, oh, well, maybe they didn't have it quite yet. We do that. Another Terror gets put in the hand. We're lying, of course. Now this becomes a, what, human? I believe he's human. Yeah, spider, human hero, but human's obviously the better choice here. And then we pass. And Fear can obviously block here as well. It could have protection spell. We do have to be somewhat careful. They go Dredgers instead. Interesting. Maybe not the best bring back of all time, if I had to say so. Double Terror of the Peaks will end the game here, I believe. Could have Kona give it like hexproof or something. Maybe they were digging. Okay. I think double tear can win. Say that pretty lightly though. Sure. Sure. Uh-huh. Go discard a card. Let's shoot here. Throw away this terror. Then let's go here. Have it enter as a copy of Bringer. Now, of course, obviously, they're going to bring back Behemoth. But I think, if my math is correct, it's going to be pretty close to lethal. I don't know. I think that that's pretty close to lethal. I don't know, because it's always weird to kind of count the math. They both enter. They see each other enter. And all that. So, cool. All right. We can keep this. Hopefully what happened to us last time doesn't happen again, where we got turned to rest in peace on the draw right away. Main board graveyard hate, which is reasonable. It's just kind of annoying, obviously, to win a game and then immediately just get rest in peace. I just moved on. It was blue-white control, and I was just like, I'm not fighting through this on turn 2. I'll just move on. Call it a day. Sometimes you just have to. You're just better off like conceding, moving on, not even fighting it out. It's just like when you're talking about 1 point on another rank ladder, or just also the thing of who cares sometimes, right? Like, I don't know. If I thought rank was that important, I would definitely be a lot more inclined to play only the best decks, obviously. Go to combat. Swing is 2-3. Obviously, no more lines could be in play here. They're deciding whether they're helixing this or not. And find even number of card types among cards in your graveyard. Oh, you could tap and sack that? Okay. See? Here's 2. I don't really care if they blow this up, to be quite honest. They go for helix. Sure. We just want the Mind Bitten available. Play here. Double Surveil. Might as well put everything in there, I guess. And next turn, realistically, we just kind of do nothing. Bitter Triumph, put a Terror in there, and then we do Mind Bitten, bring everything back. Unless, of course, we get hit with another Rest in Peace here, which would obviously suck, but they pass. Okay. Combat. They reacted last time when this went to combat and attacked them, so we'll see if they react again. Let's play this on human. Because the thing is now if they do the thing right, if they go demo field, blow this up, they'll only have they could have, no, they only have 1 mana. So here, obviously we can bring back Caravac, but I'm not going to. I will grab, just in case worst comes to worst, I'll grab the spider. Shouldn't matter too much here. We'll have 4, 4, 2, 6. No, it'll be 4. This will die. Arden will bring us back, attack, and then we'll be able to tear the peaks. Seems good. Seems good. Actually, the Caravac, or I keep saying Caravac. That's not right. Cavero, Mind Bitten. Superior Spider-Man is the correct term, but it's okay. However, with 2 of these and using one of them, Bringer actually brings everything back. Before, it's like a weird thing. It's so weird that Bringer brings itself back before The mind-bitten exiles sit. Want the terror in there. We already talked about this. This is uncounterable. Like a Tidebinder, me. Think about that one. Sure. I just realized they have a furnace and they discard nothing. Play land. We go and we go ahead and grab out Bringer. You'll see here, it'll bring back to Bringer anyway, and then we're going to have this enter as a copy of Terror of the Peaks. And now they're going to get absolutely suplexed, which is super dope. Love when Terror of the Peaks is my main win condition. Right now, there's no legendary rule. I guess, does it take the name of the card? It don't matter. Just in case for somehow it does. Can we stop with all the other triggers? Do the damage first. I know I should have stacked it differently, but just do the damage. They're dead. Like, look how much more damage is there, and they're already dead. Opponent goes first. Don't have a blue for our mind bitten, but I think we have to keep here. Seems too good not to. Higher Claw comes in. It may take the whole turn off next turn. I'll keep the spider. Just because it does give us looks if we don't necessarily want to do this. Sure. Okay, okay. The Burst Lightning can't answer this anyway, so we might as well play it. We don't have a Menace guy. Bottom both of those. Now we're just looking for Island. Or Cavern, I guess. We're looking for a blue source, clearly. We want to do this. And our Boros opponent kept a one-lander, you know. Definitely in the cards for Boros to do. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. But now our dude gets to block pretty freely, I think. Obviously take the one that does free damage. They shock, which then absorbs, you know, more damage. And then with Manist land drop, I do think I'm just going right back to the spinner. Dredger's Insight does seem hard for them to keep up with. Plus, we get to make a land drop here. So then we can go Dredger's Bitter Triumph. We have kind of all the time in the world. We just need to be able to play this at some point. At some point. Now they're finding some removal, which is obviously tough. But thankfully for us, worst case scenario, I get to grab that spider, but we have to use the green. There's a blue source. Okay. Finally get to feel like I'm participating in this game. We'll just pass to Bitter Triumph their creature. Not really. I need to shock in now, then Bitter Triumph it, and kind of run a risk of doing something. Sure. 2 damage I'll take. Deal. I discard a card. Being Overlord. Shock. No. My graveyard, I would like for it to be a Overlord. Which now Dredger's going to gain a life. These Overlords are going to gain life. Bottom. Kind of just having a good time. And we have 3 Overlord triggers here. We're going to be able to grab creatures out of our graveyard and everything like that and gain 3 more life. And we are pretty high as is at 10. To call that high is probably not great, but I have 2 reachers, a flyer. They have a slick shot, exiled, everything going our way there. Opponent goes first here. Obviously not too great for us, but we can start off with Surveil Land. There can go away. Now, with nothing good in our hand, we'll most likely go Overlord instead, looking that we're against probably Kona. But obviously, if Bringer gets drawn, then we play maybe Fear or something like that. Yeah, this is Kona combo, I think. Omniscience combo, so. You need good stuff to happen. but not guaranteed. You know what we're discarding? Oh, sure. Go here. Like I said before, I'm going Overlord. Just Bringer, Arden, everything we kind of want. We'll decline on any of that. The problem is they're one turn ahead of us. Mono blue, mono blue. Everything coming up blue for them. Sure. Go here. Maybe we could have went for Fear if we would have hit a Torch. Obviously, we'll find out here. Maybe it's a counterspell. Sure. Weird card to counterspell, but I guess. Shock to deceive. Here for a human. They obviously could Tidebinder me here, I guess. That resolved. Kind of everything happened. So here's this. Big hits. A Surveil 2. Brutal on a Surveil 2 there. But there's obviously the problem here being, oh, they just loot. We get there. I just assumed with like the bounce off got discarded that they had another one. They just don't. All right, deal. I'll take it, I guess. Kind of whatever. Just waiting to get hit with like a rest in peace here, which would be bad. Grab the spider. Is it 4-color or Esper Mill? The world may never know. Esper Mill we can kind of bully a bit, but who's to really know? Like I said, we got Drudgers here. Unfortunately, the cavern's gone. The Drudgers anyway. We grab the land, we play it. The Bringer's in my hand. I don't, with the Bringer's in my deck and potentially being able to get rid of the Bringer in my hand, I don't really want to grab much of those creatures back. The only card we're really looking for here is a Cavern of Souls. Treasure can help us find it. Play a spider. Obviously, they can do stuff there to it, I guess. If they want, maybe they get lost it. Maybe they remove all of it. The third copy of Arden, I believe. No, the second copy. But next turn, I'll just tap out and just hard cast Overlord, I guess. Miracle Starcade, sure, I guess. That doesn't really matter to us. Does on our Ardens, so we don't really want to do that. Like I said, I'm just gonna hard cast this Overlord, force them to interact with it. They gain a life, it's fine. There's a Bringer. Grab a Brood back. Now this will also come up for free. This is available. I do still think this is mill. I have 10 cards in my graveyard, so we do have to be wary of that. GG's, I guess. There better be at least 2 Terror of the Peaks in there. There's one. It literally does not matter, I don't think. Let's go here. Let's keep our blue. Let's go ahead and cast Dredgers. Then obviously decline any bring back here. We go here. Then we bully this deck. Bring everything back. Obviously Authority is going to trigger like crazy. We want this to enter as what? The biggest creature we got. So we do Bringer again. Then we just do Bringer again. And, or we do Terror of the Peaks, I guess. I probably should have done Terror, but I don't think it matters based on what I'm looking at. I don't know why I didn't click the Terror. I just kind of picked at random. Hopefully the Terror of the Peaks triggers keep coming. I didn't think it mattered regardless. But Dredgers all happens. Sure, just... They're going to gain an amount of life. They're going to go to 37. Sure. Sure. Now neither of us know who wins. Neither of us know. Shouldn't matter. Should have way over enough. But why I didn't do Terror of the Peaks, I'll never know. I cut the game before because my opponent kept a one lander and conceded on turn 2. And this is how Arena's treating me. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. Terror, I guess. Alright, fair enough. Into life, create a lander token? Golgari? This mana base is going to end up killing me. Just not paying that much attention. Like, I have 3 colors online right now, and it's not the right colors to play the spider. Fine. I don't want any of them. I don't want nothing. I wanted to play the spider, but I want none of those. Mainly by none of those, I want... What is going on? Play my green. Play my spider. It's like 12 eyes. Having a good time. I'll need either of those, so obviously we'll bend both of those. So what's up? You gonna find another land? Interesting game so far. Not like really, but you know how it is. Huh? The ultimate, like, life gain deck was just quite funny here. Play Surveillance. Yes, keeping that makes sense. Yes. Do you think they have somewhat of a counter spell available? Alright. They've played 3 of these. They've played 3 of them. And he missed a land drop. Interesting. Gonna have counter unless I pay 3, but I can't get around it. Play another spider. Play another one. Keep. Do we not? I'll keep those. For combat. Attack. We can play Fear of Missing Out, discard Arden, and then we can then draw the other spider. Then play the other one. Is this Ugin Ramp or something? I literally don't know what's going on. They've played 3 of these and this. And I'm just staring at them. Like, what's going on? I have the board for aggro decks right now. I have the removal if they were aggro. Instead, I sit here. Play Fear. Sure. I still don't know what's happening. Combat. 4. I've hit them for a lot now. So much that Overlord's coming up this turn. Maybe they have Exile here, but I just don't think they do. They didn't pay into that? Why? Why would they not pay into it? Have all the spiders ready, dude. Are you Omniscience combo or something? Been both of those. I want nothing to do with them. I don't know what's going on. I now really don't know what's going on. Sure. Yeah. Deal. Don't have one. Grab it though. Okay. I have to assume they have counterspell, right? I have to assume they have counterspell. You have a 3 steps ahead. You do. Which I find insane, by the way, because if you were paying attention, they had 1 island in this for their 2 blue requirement card, which is quite funny, but it just is what it is. There's Cavern. Okay. Sure. Combat. Attack and attack. Here. We'll name what? Vampire, I guess. The reason we go for that round is so we can just hard cast this if we rip a land. Obviously, if we rip another one of these, sure, we're in some trouble, I guess. But in the day, just is what it is. Sure. You can have 6 of my lovely cards. I hope they do you well. I hope it's 4 copies of Terror of the Peaks. Oh boy. They could also Caravac me, I guess, if they want. Dragon? It is Terror of the Peaks. Wait a minute. That's not fair. Not allowed to terror me. Unfair. Activate. Unfair indeed. I guess. This is my card, so it should go to my graveyard. I guess, oh, it has to enter. It's not even a cast. Okay. For some reason I thought it was a cast. No? We're done with that? My thing, right, is like, what are we playing? I've not seen it before. I'm just genuinely curious. I was so confused in the early game. Like, this card exists? I don't know. It's weird. It's a cool deck, but I just don't know what it beats consistently, you know? All right, hopefully my opponent's not Vivi, so I can actually enjoy playing the game today. I just keep running into it, and I don't know. My opponent went turn 2 on the play a Fear Missing Out, discard a Vivi, turn 3, played a Cauldron, and then cast 4 spells. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad I participated, you know? I'm going to play the Spider, weirdly enough, just because I can put a blocker down. Double land seems fine. So we should just go... I'm going to get rid of this one. I'll take the draw here, then play Dredgers and hope to find another one. Because again, I don't have the blue for this, so it doesn't really matter what I do. This is until the end of their next turn, but I'll block. It's fine with me. Maybe they hit a shock or something. Screaming Nemesis, sure. I'll take their entire next turn, so we kind of know what's coming. I want to surveil after, so let's just play the Dredgers. Alright, so we'll take a Cavern. Play here. We'll have you put an Arden in our graveyard, right? No, another Cavern. Okay. We'll discard that. I guess we hold, right? Do I have time if they go Nemesis to just... I mean, I guess I can take my life gain away regardless, so I should probably... They missed a land. Oh, glorious red. What would we do without you? Dredgers. Now just any land that we or creature we bring back is just a lot of life. We can just grab this, I suppose. Our whole graveyard, but I don't really care to do that. Let's play another Dredgers. I might grab like a Fear or something here just to gain 3 life. Or we can grab the one with reason and grab this. And now we're set up to actually win the game, so I'm just going to do that. We'll hold once again. Sure. Sure. Now. Alright. Human. Here. Graveyard. Bringer. Triggers across the board. We want this to enter as a copy of... Actually, we want it to enter as a copy of Screaming Nemesis. We'll take multiple Screaming Nemesis size. Screaming Nemesis size. Nemesis. Is that how we say it? I don't know. Very cool. See, I lost that game before. That was to Agatha's Soul Cauldron Vivi. Main board graveyard hate for my Reanimator deck. And I don't know. The best deck in the format. So, whoop. Alright, we get to go second. I say we get to go second like it's an achievement. Like, what? What am I on about? What's this guy talking about, dude? Blue, white, artifacts. Okay. Should be able to beat this. Emphasis on should. Grab the land. We now just have to get this into our graveyard or another version of it. I want to go Overlord, or do I want to... What do I want to do here? I guess I want to play this. Because I find the Bitter Triumph. Double land can go, I guess. Basically have to... Okay, Snare's fine. There's only one card I'm genuinely afraid of in these spots. It should be pretty obvious which one that is. Dredger's Insight stays, so now we get to go Overlord. And if we don't put a Bringer in, I'll be very sad. But that guarantees puts it in while also protecting ourselves. So we go here, we name Humane. We play a Fear. We discard a Bringer. Haven't been seeing the artifact deck all too often, to be honest. Kind of thinking about it. No graveyard exile, please. Braided net. Okay. Block. I thought they were going to tap it down, to be honest. Relic. Sure. This is a GG. So, with one quick, easy step, what we're going to do is we're going to cast the Mind Bitten or Superior Spider-Man. Whatever way you want to talk about it. And then we're going to put in a Bringer. Bringer's going to trigger it up. Going to bring back all of our creatures, wiping their creatures, and we have 2 Terror of the Peaks, as you can see, is going to totally wreck this game by targeting them over and over again. And it's definitely enough in terms of finding lethal. As you can see, I can count 20 in there right now, and that's going to do it. So the Artifact deck, being one of the better winning decks in the format, is going to fall victim to our deck, which is honestly a good thing because they are who we are targeting. All right, so here we are with the 4-color kind of Reanimator list that I have stumbled across a couple of times, and I would say right out of the gate, my biggest kind of gripe is the amount of blue we play. We have 7 lands, and it feels very awkward, at least in best of 1. This is a best of 1 concern, not a best of 3 concern. Because in best of 3, you have like less curated hands, so aggro decks aren't as aggressive as they could be. Obviously, you'll have god hands in best of 3 too, like it'll just happen. But it's just not as consistent as best of 1 is. And having everything lined up and having this in hand and not being able to cast it when it's probably the #1 card in our entire deck that we need to be able to cast at all times is kind of a problem. I do think that game I like cast this guy. We end up having a cavern, but not this. But we hard cast this in one of our games just because it wasn't going that well, which is a little bit weird. But not being able to cast this card at any point is a big concern. I think maybe we just go into 4 Watery Graves, or maybe we just splash a couple other lands. But I will say with the other shock lands coming out in Lorwyn, we are okay with this deck because then we'll be able to splash a little bit more blue a little bit easier probably and not necessarily feel that bad about it, especially getting that like is it land Steam Vents not being a card that's legal, being obviously a card that would be pretty strong as an early card for us. And then Breeding Pool was technically a card we could play, but green's also a very narrow color, so it doesn't feel like we should be doing that too much. I mean, I guess it's not super as narrow, but regardless, overall, I just felt like that was the biggest concern. Other than that, it did about what I wanted. I think Terror of the Peaks is an awesome way to win with this deck, and Arden is a great backup plan to it, where you can just bring this back potentially and just make this a 4-4 or this a 4-4 and do kind of what we've done in the past. But overall, deck's solid. Had a little bit of gripes about it, but that was because I was losing the VV Cauldron, and every deck loses to that deck, so it feels okay in that regard. But I do think a little bit of work on the mana base or waiting when Lorwyn comes out, this deck will probably find itself a bit stronger. But for me, I think sticking to maybe 3 colors is kind of where I'm at the most, but I could be wrong. It did feel, when it was working, it felt very good and smooth, but when it doesn't work, it feels like, wow, I can't cast this card even though I have it and everything's in the graveyard. Or you do an Overlord, which has been one of my problems with this card in the past, where you do this one and you mill over the lands, and it's like, man, that just sucks, huh? But with all that said and done, I hope you all enjoyed the video regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.